Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of the show. This is a 10-minute talk aimed to 10xing, right? The health of your team and your system, featuring leaders who are definitely legit in leading above the noise of average. I'm Joe, and I get to be the host today, and I have the honor and great privilege of spending time with Dr. John Smith-Kappes, President of Joyce University. Dr. John, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks for allowing me to be part of the Joe Show. This is fantastic. I'm excited.
How about this? Hey, I know you're a reader as well. I was reading this morning about ancient war strategies used by the Romans, right?
Sure.
When they were going into enemy territory, the soldiers would go in like this wedge formation, right? This human wedge, with the leader out front, out front. And that position isn't for anybody or everybody. It's for the point person. They call that the point person, right? Highly risky, right? And not just for anybody. It's only for the healthiest and the smartest of the bunch. And folks, Dr. John emulates everything about a point person. And I'm really, really excited.
Well, you're super kind.
Yeah, because you're modeling and inspiring. I've been watching you. You're modeling and inspiring in a way that's so compellingly and remarkable. My evil plan today, because I do have a bit of an evil plan, is to see if we can get you to spill some of your secrets, if that's all right, boss.
Yeah, I'd love to.
So for the 5 people out there that don't know who you are, tell them a little bit about yourself. What is it like to be you, Doc?
Well, thanks. Again, thanks for having me here and allowing me just to share a little bit about my story and the story of my team, because that's really where the magic lies. But a little bit about myself. So I serve as president and CEO of Joyce University. We're located in Draper, Utah, which is a southern bedroom community of the greater Salt Lake City area. So
are you looking at snow yet? Do you have snow at the peak of those mountains yet?
Not yet. We actually got them we got a little bit about 30 days ago, and then it's since melted. So, we're in that space where it can happen anytime. Yeah.
Nice.
But, a little bit about myself. I was trying to think through, what is a conventional path for, leaders in higher education. And I think the answer is there is no conventional path. Every one of us has taken a little bit of a different journey. I started off with my undergraduate in accountancy, actually, and got my MBA from Bethel University in transformational leadership. My doctorate is in higher education and organizational change. And I started that journey back in 2010, when things were getting wonky in U.S. higher education. We were going through the Great Recession. Folks were flooding back into higher ed. There was this massive demand, but I just saw this lack of road forward. Like, how was higher education in the United States going to meet the demand and the challenges? And what we're finding ourselves now, Joe, is in a space 14 years later, we're in a similar space. So much disruption, so much change. And we've got a real opportunity to bring our people along and make sure that we're meeting the needs of our communities. That's my heart's desire.
You've got a very unique campus. You've got a very unique print. Non-traditional in so many ways, which I think is so apropos to so many of the traditional things that are just no longer in demand or relevant. So tell us a little bit about Joyce.
Yeah, so we're actually focused just on nursing education, occupational therapy programs. So we're very highly specialized. We know what we're about. We're mission driven. We're focused on our students and our communities. We've got about 2,000 undergraduates. Again, just in the healthcare space and healthcare profession, that's who we are, and that's what we're going to be. We're not pretending to be anything else. And within higher education, all of us are responsible for living our own mission. So, I tell people all the time, figure out what your organization is made to do. I guarantee that your organization is getting the results that you were designed to get, whether those are good or bad. But if you know what you're about and you know what you're driving towards and you've got alignment, you can do that. So we're in a space of growing nursing education in the United States. My desire is to, we're going to be the first name in nursing education in the U.S. That's our goal.
That's pretty bold, boss.
Yeah,
that's very bold.
Yeah, so it is.
You've taken point definitely in leading some amazing innovations in education. I'm tracking to see the work that seems to be crazy fun for you and your team right now, as you're just out there, like trying to discover what ain't yet.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. And I think that, all of us have been sitting in this space where, ed tech is growing quickly. There's so many new ideas and whatnot. At the end of the day, we've got to figure out, number one, what are students asking for? What is changing in the lives of our communities? And then how do we serve them best? And so that's what's driving us to a lot of our innovations. We're just recognizing that, in our space, there's an increasing demand for nurses. There's also an increasing demand for nurse educators. We know that there's a cliff coming of retirees. We know that there's a cliff coming of retiring educators as well. So everything that we're doing is trying to answer first. We're keeping our eye on the big questions, the big problems, and then pulling them back into how do we create innovations and solutions in that space in real time. So
that's where I do see you out there, just bright and shining and illuminating how to do things a little bit differently, because it's the in-demand piece you mentioned. We don't have enough nurses out there. We don't have enough people that are teaching nursing. So you're focused on those two areas and staying in crazy demand. I'm sure as you're working with your partners, I've actually been so bold to say with campus executive teams, I don't know that your courses and programs are actually your mission. And they look at me like they want to throw me out the first floor window. I say, I think your mission is more about partnerships than it is programs.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right?
I would
build on that.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, there's sort of this fundamental argument within higher education of who is your, I'm going to use a crass word in U.S. higher education, but who is your customer, right? Is it the student or is it the community? Yeah. How dare you say that? But is it the student that's a university's customer, or is it the community that's going to be partaking in the finished product? A student, a graduate that a university brings forward. So for us, partnership is key. As a matter of fact, I tell our team all the time, every institution has a superpower. You're designed to accomplish one thing. The biggest thing that you can do is oftentimes we invest where we find our weaknesses, and we're trying to pour money and resources and talent into that space. And I'm saying, hey, if that's not aligned with your superpower, partner with somebody else that can bring that into your organization so you can keep the main thing. And we're trying to do a lot of that through partnerships here at Joyce.
Wow. So really what I hear you saying is emphasizing the core of your program. You may do a lot of other things, but in terms of your investment of time and resources and your significant partnerships in the community, what core programs you're standing upon.
Okay. Yep, absolutely.
That's essential. I don't see a lot of campuses out there that want to be, and excuse me for using probably a poor analogy, but the Walmart, right? The Walmart to all, and losing out on the opportunity to truly be the exceptional leader in any particular program.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I came from an institution previously. We had 72 different programs, and to be leading an institution now where we're focused on 6 or 7. It's a very interesting shift, but it's very purposeful. My role has been actually in the last couple of years to pull back development on programs. I'm like, that's not our main thing. That's not our. When we think about a hedgehog concept, as you think about Collins and his teaching, all of these sorts of things. That's not in the space. And so let's not get distracted by taking our best people, our resources, putting them on something that ultimately is gonna pull us out of what we need to be focused on.
Well, we definitely can see that hedgehog in you. I don't know if hedgehogs are really attractive, but I see that passion. I see that passion that's burning that says, "Hey, we are absolutely passionate about this, and we believe that we can become." The best or most renowned. You said it earlier, and I'd love for you to repeat it, John. We intend to.
Oh yeah. Well, we're going to be the first name in nursing education in the United States. That's our big hairy audacious goal.
Yeah, the BHAG. We're just going to Collins. We're going to paint Collins all over because it
Clearly.
drives your economic engine.
Well, it does. And what's interesting is I actually probably why Colin's hedgehog is in my head is one of the things that we do is we've actually got a monthly book club within our university that we invite every one of our faculty, staff, administrators to participate in. Every month we pick a new book. Some of them are focused on higher ed, some of them are personal development, some are professional development, some of them are business management. And I just had the opportunity to revisit with our entire institution last month. Colin's Good to Great. And it's, it's one of those sorts of things where we're just trying to make sure that professional development is at the heart of everything that we're bringing forward for our people.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it was his next book, but How the Mighty Fall.
Yeah.
We need to pay attention to both books. The first one is how you rise to become the name in nursing education. The other one is how you stay there. Because that's
exactly it.
I think just for anything that you do, you could become, strong and fit, but staying strong and fit is then the challenge. So How the Mighty Fall, I think, is the composite book that I would align to that other one in your book study to go, how do we stay there? How do we stay there? That's your mindset.
Yeah, you're spot on. That's exactly it. A lot of the words that we've been using with our team this last year, we've been really focused on our culture and again, just helping our folks understand who we are, what we are, why we are. The words that have been really resonating in this last year for us have been care and accountability. How do we make sure that we're taking care of our people, we're taking care of our students, but we're holding everybody accountable? That balance is really, really critical. And I tell folks, listen, care without accountability is just enabling, and accountability without care is just bullying, so how do we take these two things and really overlay them? Our challenge in 2025 is to now, really amp it up and take that foundation. And now we're really starting to put focus around curiosity and innovation. And, we've got a space where we're holding ourselves accountable, but now how do we challenge ourselves and not just challenge ourselves to find answers, but to ask questions of each other. And I think there's some real magic in that too.
Wow. That culture piece guaranteed is driving your current performance, but you're deepening that culture to answer the question, what do people like us do? Right, on a regular basis. So you're onboarding people because you continue to grow. You're on the move. It's hard to even keep track of what you got going on. I would like to shift into just looking ahead. What are some of your top priorities for Joyce in the next couple of years? What do you got your sights on?
Yeah, so really, truly, we're working on scale and strength. So for us, everything that we focus on is about student experience. So in the spirit of trying to determine where's that next disruptor coming in higher education, we want to make sure that we're not surprised and that we're actually on the cutting edge of that. So we're really trying to amp up our delivery for our students. We're focused on experiential learning, what that looks like in the classroom experience, and really developing that. A lot of focus on growth and scale, but not for growth's sake. We just recognize that we live in communities that need our graduates. So we're building those practices, and then developing our people. So what was that?
It's just that targeted growth. So not universal, not universal growth necessarily, but where the most crucial need happens to lie. That's the mark really of a leader and a team and a system that is doing the right work. So as we wrap up here, John, your peers are listening, right? And they're also running really, really hard and lifting heavy and complex things, right? What are a couple of nuggets of wisdom and encouragement that you would want to share with them today?
Yeah, I would just say, keep aligned on your vision as an organization. There's so many things that are happening out in the world that are distractions and are distracting, and we're constantly being barraged by so much information. Take that time to focus and to focus your team, focus your leaders. Something I said earlier at the beginning, I really am a believer that every institution and us as leaders of institutions We've got teams of people that want to deliver for us, and we know what we're about. We've each got a superpower within our institution. So, focus on that, and then partner with organizations, people, talent that can help you. Sort of mind the gap in those other spaces that may not be that main thing. If you do that, then I think your energy is going to be set in the right way. And then communicate. That's the other thing that I'm just recognizing. We live in a time where everybody's, our world of narratives are it's rich. Everybody wants a voice in our head to tell us something. And I've often said nature abhors a vacuum. So if we as leaders aren't telling our story and aren't helping our team understand where we're going, why we're doing what we're doing, somebody else is going to try to interpret that story and tell the community or tell your team. So keep communicating. If we do that, I think we're in a pretty good space as leaders.
I think our viewers are going to want to replay that and replay that and replay. So much good. Thank you, Dr. John. Thank you for sharing your insights with us today. We've covered just a smidge of what you've got going on in the world of good and productive. For our viewers out there that would just like to find you on the web, where are you located out there?
Yeah, well, you can find me on our internet at www.joyce.edu. You can find me on LinkedIn, John Smith Koppas. I've got a hyphenated last name, so it's a little bit longer than normal, but you'll be able to find me easy enough.
Fantastic. Hey, to our viewers, thank you for joining us today. This has been the show with Joe, right? Isn't that cute? You think that's cute, John? You like it? It kind of rolls, doesn't it? Hey, we're reminding you that everyone deserves to live in a community that is served by healthy leaders like this amazing human right here, who build healthy teams and lead highly reliable systems. Before we wrap up, I want to thank you for tuning into the show. And if you found any value in this whatsoever in today's conversation, hit that like button. Go ahead and put a comment in there. Let us know what you liked, what we might be able to maybe talk about on our next episodes, and share this episode with a colleague, because your engagement helps us reach more leaders and continuing to bring valuable content from the learning leaders across America, like Dr. John here. Until next time, this is Dr. Joe, on point to cancel all things average in the world of education. Peace and press on, friends.